going down and the rig is on. iRacing is where I belong. Discord's lit and the drivers are here. This is GEC, there's no room for fear. Green flag drops and the engines roar. 40 cars and we all want more. Mash the gases, we're on the line. Full wide and we're feeling fine. Drifting close in a slipstream dance. Taking the corners in a high-speed trance. Tri-oval side by side. In this GEC league, there's nowhere to White flag need a perfect lap. All gas, no brakes to close that gap. Checkered waves in the racing one. Another battle is over and done. Cheers to the booth, hope they like the show. Victory lane is all I know.
Welcome to Michigan International Speedway, here with the GEC Racing League Collateral Damage Sports Network Truck Series. We're here for race 8 of season 8. The Smitten by the Mitten 240 here on GEC. Bryce Borer has been dominant all season, but we'll see what he's got here at Michigan as usual. I'm Shane Cochran up in the booth. We're going to be running an experimental graphics package tonight, so bear with us if we have any glitches, but I think it looks pretty sharp so far. Drivers have just wrapped up qualifying, and we're going to take a look out there on the starting grid in just a moment. As I mentioned, this is race number 8. We're getting close to that playoff cutoff that is always looming in the regular season of any league. But now it's coming down to it. So it's 120 laps tonight. We've got no stages again. That's an update for this season if you're just joining for the first race of the season. We got 5 tire sets on pit wall, 3 green-white checkers if we need them. We haven't needed them all that much yet this season. Fuel window somewhere around 24 laps, so drivers are going to be hitting pit road a couple times. You're going to need to ration those tires if we get any cautions here in the middle of the race. Looks like almost everyone has gotten to the grid except for our pole sitter. It's going to be Michael Boyd, number 21. So as the drivers are getting ready to leave pit road, I'm going to start taking a look at our starting grid. Got 26 trucks in the field tonight. Looks like I said, we've got some styling experimentation going on. See if we can get that cleared up. There we go. Michael Boyd and Ryan Elzey going to be on the front row. Then it's Walt Sahadak and John Boy Hughes in row 2. Followed by Josh Eller, David Culleton in row 3. Spencer Teal and Jacob Hughes, row 4. We've got Jonah Seawright and Ryan Jones rounding out your top 10. Dakota Osborne and Ryan Moutre next up. Then it's Blake Henderson and Bryce Borer, 2 big winners this season. Then Johnny Jones and Josh Ryder, 15th and 16th. Stephen Hayes and Scott Prim in row 9. And Chris Jones and Robert Weibel in row 10. That's your top 20. Wesley Lister, Kenneth Gallman in row 11. Then John Anthony and Stephen Linger in row 12. Jamie Griffin and Klaus Brahm are in row 13, and that is going to wrap up our starting grid here at Michigan. As the drivers are coming out of turn 4. For the first time tonight, it's Michael Boyd out front. Green flag is waving. here in the Collateral Damage Sports Network Truck Series. And it's Boyd ahead of LZ right from the start. We are going to see 3, 4, maybe 5 wide racing here tonight. And look at that shot. Trucks spread out all over the track, but it's still Boyd out front, the only driver with clean air right now. And you're going to need that clean air in the corners all night tonight. I heard the drivers chatting pre-race that it's all about dirty air. So look for everyone to try and keep their truck clean if they can. LZ now starting to track down that 21 truck out front. And the draft here at Michigan on the straights is a huge advantage, so it's going to be really hard for anyone to pull ahead. But right now it's a 2-truck battle for the lead, and then everybody else behind them. Walt Sahadak, our Daytona winner, has made his way up to 4th. Jump on board with Walt. Started 3rd, dropped back to 4th, but he's right there as we have a battle for the lead. LZ has taken it from Boyd. They're side by side. But Boyd back on the outside, and he's going to bring Josh Eller right there with him in the 69. Great battles already here on lap 3. We got a long way to go, though. Oh, there's somebody sideways. Back around 5th place, drivers fanning out all over, back in the pack. Sahadak now has lost a couple positions. He's back in 10th. We just saw him in 4th not that long ago. Right now, it's Jamie Griffin, the driver, on the move, up 8 positions already in the first 4 laps. That's got him up to 17th, though. He's still got a ways to go. Klaus Brahm trying to come with him. He's right behind him. He's also up 7 spots from the start of the race. Those two, I believe, started on the back row together, and they are marching forward. Up front is still Michael Boyd holding off Eller. Then LZ and Teal just behind him. John Boy Hughes rounding out your top 5. Again, 120 laps here tonight. No stages. And a 24-lap fuel window. As those drivers on the outside continue to flirt with the wall. Here comes LZ on the bottom. Side by side for the lead, and 3 wide behind them. Like I said, it's going to be hard to pull away at the front as that draft on the straights just brings everyone right back to you. Michael Boyd has been trying to hold on to the lead since this thing started. And don't look now, but here comes David Culleton in the 50 truck. Where did he come from? Up 3 spots from the start of the race. And he's all the way to the bottom. Not quite going to put them 3 wide for the lead, but they're right there, bumper to bumper. Bryce Borer now cracking into the top 5. He's up 9 positions. That 57 truck has been the contender all season long. There he gets to the outside of the 69. They're 4 wide. And that is the fun of Michigan. Plenty of space there as we see a couple drivers banging doors down the backstretch. What a race already, and there comes the 57 up to 3rd. He's going to get into Boyd as LZ took his air away. That is aggressive racing and blocking by the whole field here. Just 7 laps into 120. Are you having fun yet? LZ still down on the inside of the leader as Eller tries to regroup on the high line. Borer now up to second. He's to the outside of Elzy as Boyd pulls back out ahead by himself. And so far, I couldn't tell you where I'd want to be. It seems like the high line is where a lot of drivers have made their hay so far, but Borer has been using every lane to get his way to the front. And there goes Eller up high. He scrapes the wall. And Henderson is sideways. First caution of the night is that 25 Reese's truck slaps the inside wall. And that's going to be our first caution of the night here on lap 9. Ryan Elzy was the leader at the time of caution, though. And we are going to go back and take a look at what happened to that 25 truck in traffic to get him turned down into the wall. He's racing here. There's Eller on the outside. We saw him get into the wall. He's lost some momentum. Then it's Seawright and Jones. That's Ryan Jones on the bottom. But the 25 just gets loose all by himself. I don't know if that was dirty air or just having too much wheel in it coming off the turn. That's what got him taken care of. And then ever so slightly tags that inside wall. You know, I think he's going to be okay on getting some repairs done on that nose without having to use his fast repair just yet. So first caution is out, just 10 laps into the race. As I mentioned, drivers only have 5 sets of additional tires on the wall, which means you probably need to go at least 20 laps before you think about putting tires on, and even longer if you want to try and save a set for a late race restart. And now here comes everyone down pit road with the, well, I changed my mind. About half the field hits pit road. And let's see what the count is. Maybe 6 drivers stay out. 7. And that is going to be Elzy, Sahadak, Kelleton, Griffin, Brom, and Lister. Griffin and Brom started on the back row and through racing and now a little bit of pit strategy have gained 21 positions each to get up into the top 10 here as we're under our first caution of the night. Taking a look at our point standings, we mentioned Bryce Borer has been dominating. He's got a 55-point lead coming into this race number 8 at Michigan. 5 wins and 6 podiums on the season. But the race for second and for the probably everyone through the top 5 is tight. Dakota Osborne just 2 points ahead of Griffin and just 3 points ahead of Michael Boyd for second, third, and fourth. Then just 6 points further back is Josh Ryder in 5th. Then Sahadak, Anthony Seawright, Simmons, and Brom, your top 10. Top 14 are going to make the playoffs. So right now it's Marcus Chafin, the last driver in, and Ryan Moutre, the first driver out. But if I remember right, Moutre started a little late in the season, so he was fighting an uphill battle on points anyway. So impressive to see him up to 15th. And we have got a battle going on this season. It's Bryce Borer, you know, kind of running away with the lead, but everybody else is tight behind him. We're only getting more exciting as this season goes on. So it's going to be 1 degree as we have everybody lined up again. We're going to take a look at our restart lineup here. It's going to be Elzy and Sahadak on the front row, then Culleton and Griffin, Lister and Brom, Boyd, Borer, Seawright, and Moutre, your top 10. And that was a pretty exciting beginning of the race there. Now, I am a little curious. Let's see who took tires and who didn't. So, Eller appears to be the first driver that decided to take tires this early in the race. He's back in 14th. Remember that top 6 drivers stayed out. Everyone's 7th through 13th, fuel only, so that they can stretch this out a little bit early on, but not waste a set of tires potentially early in the race. So Ryan Elsie in the 27 going to lead us back to the green. We've got those Stitley Motorsports drivers on the outside, Sahadak and Griffin. Let's see if they give each other a push to try and grit this lead. And the green flag is out. Great jump by the bottom lane, actually, as Culleton is right there with the 27 of Elsie. And they're going to lead it into turn 1 with no one around them. Beautiful shot down the backstretch there. Drivers fanning out every which way, trying to make their way to the front. Now we do have, I think, a record number of drivers who offered to share their webcams with us tonight. It's Henderson, Ryder, Teal, Braun, Borer, Sahadak, and Griffin all there. So we're going to be jumping on board with these guys at some point. And there comes the second caution. It's Seawright and Borer that I'm showing with a little bit of contact. Seawright actually going off track at one point. See if we can find what got this one started. 57 down low. Seawright in the middle. Michael Boyd up top. I think we don't need the slow motion. Let's go ahead and watch it. And it's just contact between the 57 and the 15. Go back and watch that one again. Maybe from the blimp this time. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like they both kind of misjudged it. Maybe the 15 thought the 57 was going to go all the way to the bottom line on entry, and he just didn't. Let's try another angle. Yeah, I think it's just the turn-in point was different between 57 and 15. So 15 comes across the nose of Borer. No contact, though. He goes through the grass. Loses some positions, and that's about it. And now we're going to see a couple different drivers hitting pit road. Probably a few of those that stayed out the last time, including the Stitley Motorsports drivers, Sahadak and Griffin. We do have a number of teams in this truck league. Stitley going to drop to the back of the running order here as they come to the pits, but they were up in the top 5 just before this. But it's JWR showing the way. Ryan Elsie out front. Average running position in the top 10 for those 4 drivers. ALR, their highest driver is Bryce Borer in 5th, but they're averaging 6.7. So everyone on that team doing a good job to be up in the top 10 right now. want to thank everybody for watching out on the GEC Racing League YouTube channel. Let us know who you're pulling for, who you think's going to win, if that's different. And I'd love to hear some feedback on the new graphics, what you think about them. Been working on these for another broadcaster and thought I'd break them out and see how they looked. And as they get restacked again, let's take a look at that top 10 here for this restart. It's going to be LZ out front with David Culleton to his outside. Klaus Brahm, Michael Boyd, Ryan Moutre, Bryce Bohr, Spencer Teal, Jacob Hughes, Dakota Osborne, and Ryan Jones, your top 10. As we wrap up our second caution of the night and get ready to go back green racing on lap 18. Only two drivers have led so far tonight. It's Boyd and Elsley. They started on the front row, both leading just under 10 laps. Let's see. I think we're going to jump on board. I mentioned we've got all those drivers sharing those cameras with us. I'm looking at Spencer Teal's in 7th. Why don't we jump on board with him here for this restart? Pace truck is pulling down pit lane now. It's Ryan Elsie and David Culleton out front, but we're on board with the 81 of Spencer Teal in 7th place as the green flag is waving. He's staring at the 44 of Ryan Moutre in front of him there in that Bucky's Silverado. Pretty smooth so far. You see Borer all the way to the bottom around Brahm and Boyd. Teal looks like he's having fun. It's almost like someone's telling him a joke that we can't hear or something. Love to see the faces and the expressions drivers make when they're in the moment. Usually have no idea you're doing it. He's going to get a run here on Boyd. What's he going to do? Tuck him behind him or look outside? He thought about it. Ooh, that 81 tags the wall. That's Spencer. 43 going to tuck in behind him. 41 of Klaus Brahm down there on the bottom, and it's David Culleton out front. He is even pulling away a little bit from the rest of the pack at the moment. Bryce Bohr with a huge run, almost into the wall, though. We saw this earlier. Michael Boyd was able to get just about the same amount of a lead before the pack came back and caught him real fast. David, a long-time GEC Racing League member. 92 starts for David in the GEC Racing League. Only two drivers have more. It's Jamie Griffin and Joseph Barrow. Woo, a little bit tight there as Elsie tucks in front of Boyd. And now here they come. Borer has caught the bumper of Culleton. And Boyd looking to the outside of Elzy. Klaus Brahm holding steady in 6th right now. Remember, he started on the back row and skipped a pit stop to gain some track position, and he's out there on probably the oldest fuel tank right now. He and Culleton both have not pitted yet in this race. We know the fuel window is somewhere around 24 laps. This is lap 22. So they are going to be coming to pit road probably in the next 2 to 3 laps. That's Brahm in the 41 and Culleton in the 50 as he drops back into 2nd place behind Bryce Borer. 57 truck up 13 positions from the start of this race. But here comes Culleton back on the bottom. Boyd in the middle. And they're going to be 3 wide for the lead coming off the corner. Boyd, though, tucks in behind the 57. And Culleton loses a little bit of momentum. I've got to think he's planning to come to pit road either this lap or the next one. Not just yet. And there was a bit of contact there about 2 laps ago. 4 or 5 drivers picking up a 4X. We're going to take a quick peek at what that might have been. Oh, right there. No caution, but heavy contact as the 32 came across the nose of Griffin. And there it is. While we're checking this replay, our next caution has come out, and it's the 32 in this one as well. 91 hard into the wall. Linger, Lister, and Ryder. Watch the driver reactions. Henderson's on his phone, man. What's he doing? Somebody's FaceTiming him. You gotta hang up. Tell him we're racing, buddy. Anyway, let's go back and see what happened to these 3 drivers. There's Josh Ryder on the outside. Linger on the bottom. Oh, and they're reacting to Seawright in front of them. We're gonna have to back it up a little further. Let's try that again. Oh, and it's Seawright off the nose of the 73, and Sahadak gets into him as he's trying to recover. Again, we're just going to have to back this one up and see where does it actually start. It's the Seawright is the one I think that gets spinning first. He gets up high into that dirty air, and the truck just comes around on him. So he's spinning. The 73 checks up, gets run over by Sahadak. There's really nowhere to go. Lister doesn't really hit anything, but Ryder and Linger sure do. They don't look terrible, though. I don't think any driver is going to need that fast repair. They can stick with the old-fashioned wrench wrangling. And this time, it's everyone coming down pit road. Bryce Borer looks like he's going to win the race off the pit road. Then the 43 of Jones. Then Boyd. Moutre. LZ, Teal, Henderson, and Brahm will be your top 10 coming off pit road here. So our third caution here around lap 24 in the Smitten by the Mitten 240 at Michigan for the GEC Racing League and the Collateral Damage Sports Network Truck Series. Hope you're enjoying this one. I know I am. A lot of action early in this race. So we take a look at our race recap. Again, Ryan Jones is currently the leader. I don't think that's true. I believe it's Bryce Borer. No, it is Jones. I didn't see him sneak out ahead of him, but that's what they're showing for now anyway. 3 cautions with 8 laps under caution so far. Just 2 lead changes. Two green flag lead changes. But we have had 5 different drivers lead a lap through pit cycles and all that kind of stuff. Everybody trying to get caught up to the field here. We are 1 lap to green. Pace car coming out of turn 2. We've seen a lot of drivers get involved in accidents as we take a look. Scott Prim already with over a minute of damage repaired. Chris Jones, Josh Ryder, Sahadak, and Linger all with more than 30 seconds. And all of these drivers that have had to make repairs are no better than 15th. But a long race yet to go. Still 94 laps remaining here in the Smitten by the Mitten 240. Michigan's such a big track, 2 miles around this beast. And drivers having fun. You know, usually Kiernan's in here with me and we would have made some picks. You know, the guy I'm going to pick is Jamie Griffin. He has a history with this track. There are some people who love Michigan, some people who hate it. I am not sure I've ever gotten the hang of it, but I know that Jamie Griffin is always excited to get out there at the high-speed, super wide track here at Michigan. And it's Jones out front. Gets a good restart, but that truck is a little squirrely. Almost gets up into Borer, who checks up. Loses a little bit of momentum, but everybody gets away clean so far. Boyd gets in front of Moutre there. And we've got cars going around. It's Prim. Hard into the wall for that 24. What a shame. We saw him already with some heavy repairs. He does still have his fast repair in his pocket if he needs it, but he's going to pick up a meatball from that contact. The other driver involved was Stephen Hayes in the 82. So another quick caution. Our 4th of the night. So Prim on pit road. Looks like something might have happened to the 21. He's slow on the backstretch. A little early for an emergency bathroom break, but it could be a hardware issue. I hope that 21 can get moving again. Pace car is in turn 4. There goes Michael. Got that 21 F-150 rolling. So we'll see if he can regain his position or if he'll need to drop to the back on that one. Up front, still Ryan Jones. But we do have a few takers on pit road. Osborne, Borer. Prim is still getting some damage repaired. Sahadak on pit road. Stephen Hayes. All in all, about 8 drivers decided to hit pit road right there. So already we're just going to have a hodgepodge of fuel and tire strategies. Ryan Jones is out front. He's got 19 laps since he last pitted, according to my data. And you can see his journey over the night all over the place. Started right around 9th or 10th. Got his way up into the top 5, then dropped out, pitting under that first caution. Back on lap 9. And then just steadily made his way to the front, stayed out 2 cautions ago and assumed the lead. And I think he only got one green flag lap in there before this other caution came out. But he is going to need to come to pit road not too long from now. Again, 19 laps for the 43. Even if he's saving under all these cautions, probably has about 5 to 7 laps before he's going to need to hit pit road. See if that gamble pays off for him. Meanwhile, everybody back to 17th or so. Has pitted 4 laps ago. And then starting with Bryce Borer and Dakota Osborne in 19th. They just pitted this time, so 4 laps of extra fuel for them. Still have 90 to go. So by my math, it's still a 3-stop race for everyone except Jones. And they're coming down the backstretch again. Let's take a look at our gainers. Griffin and Brom. Again, they've got the most spots to gain because they started out back, but that early pit strategy paid off for them as they were able to resync with everyone on fuel and keep the track position. So Griffin now on the front row. With Jones, and it's Boyd and Moutre, Culleton and Teal, Elsie Brom, Henderson, and John Boy Hughes, your top 10 here on this restart at lap 32. Pace truck hits pit road. And the drivers are getting ready. Green flag is out. Ryan Jones out front gets a pretty clean start, but that was probably the cleanest restart we've had all night. Both lanes get rolling right away. Griffin not quite able to clear Boyd until, no, still not yet. Boyd to the inside for second. And you can just see the momentum coming there on the outside as Moutre, Eller, and Henderson. They fan out 5 wide effectively. They're not beside each other, but everybody's got to find that clean air in the corner to keep speed and save those tires. Here comes Griffin now with a run to the inside of the 21. Everybody's still chasing Ryan Jones, though. Oh, Brom getting squirrely in the pack. He tags, I think that was Elsie, to his inside. They're going to keep it straight. Henderson all the way up by the wall. We saw that 25 truck have an issue earlier and get sideways and into the wall. But he has recovered nicely now in 6th. We still have a long way to go. We're about a quarter of the way through these 120 laps at Michigan. But already drivers that had early issues have found their way back to the front. Moutre slides up in front of Henderson. Just great battles all through the field. Michigan not letting anybody run away with it as Boyd tries to get the inside of Jones up front now. And he edges ahead for now. A little bit of contract between Moutre and Colleton, and we got a whole pile of trucks going sideways. Trucks everywhere down the backstretch. John Boy Hughes already with a meatball flag. We've got at least 7, 8, 9 drivers involved in this one. Let's go back and take a look. Oh, big contact. Moutre hard into the outside wall. I believe it was Griffin that got turned or came down on him to begin this thing. We'll go back and look again as we're riding here with John Boy Hughes. This time we'll look at Kenneth Gallman. He was behind this group when it started. And then almost avoids it, but gets sideways coming through. As we've now got a couple drivers hitting the pits. Griffin is in. The 91 of Linger is in. We're just going to go back a lap and watch this probably with Jamie Griffin. Oh, it's Culleton and Moutre that get together towards the bottom. That sends Moutre up into Griffin and gets this thing started. Oh, Griffin with heavy contact right where that wall juts out. Again, let's go back a lap and watch this. Maybe this time with Moutre. Yeah, and it really wasn't heavy contact. It's just everybody was so close that once they got one driver turned, everybody stacked up. This time we're going to ride on board with the 71 of Gallman. And he's just trying to take it easy here, floating around the back, stay out of trouble. He's going to watch this whole field just collapse in front of him into a pile of smoke and trucks. And he did avoid any contact. So Gallman actually going to shoot out into 10th place through all of this. We just saw Linger picking up a black flag. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to guess it was speeding on pit road. That's usually the only way to get a black flag here under caution. Right here on entry. Oh, it might have actually been a closed pit road that he just entered. And so here we are. 5 cautions into the race here on lap 37. Still, I don't think that lead changes stat is accurate, because at this point I think we've had probably 10 different leaders. Let's see, at least 6 of them. Michael Boyd leading the most, and he's out front right now. Able to get by Jones in his last few laps. A lot going on here. And a pretty good hodgepodge of Chevy versus Ford here tonight. So we look there. No Tundras in the race tonight. Ford leading the race right now, but Chevy with the higher average running position of about 12th. And we're going to be coming back to the green flag here one more time. And that starting lineup for this restart is going to be Michael Boyd and Ryan Jones on the front row. Then Spencer Teal, Bryce Bohr, Jonah Seawright, John Anthony, Stephen Hayes, Dakota Osborne, Walt Sahadak, and Kenneth Gallman. Right now, Anthony, the biggest gainer, he's got up into the top 5 in that number 42 truck. Watch him on the outside of the third row as we get going here. Teal and Boyd with a great start on the bottom row. They're going to pull away for now as we get racing here again on lap 39. We've kind of had a couple breakaway packs here. The battle for third has become a 3-truck, 3-wide battle down the backstretch. It's Seawright in the middle, Bohr down low. We saw those two get together earlier, and now they're going to give each other a ton of space as they try to split the 43 in contact. What a save by Jones in the middle. He's still got a couple trucks to avoid as he is slow compared to the pack. But a miraculous save for the 43 as Bohr looked to get into him from underneath. And what a mess now as everyone gets stacked up in the field, and there's more contact. Seawright now gets sideways. Drivers are heading into the inside wall again. Hard contact for the 11. That's Johnny Jones. He's going to get the worst of it. Griffin and Wyvel also involved. Jones picking up the meatball there. He's going to have to tow back to the pits. And we're going to go back and watch that. We saw it kind of all started with the 43, and then the field just avoiding him as they all went every which way, trying to figure that one out. Yeah, I think that started with Seawright, but he actually might not have had any contact with anyone. It's Jones that gets the worst of it. We'll just back up a lap and see what we can see here. There's a lot going on. 15 is in the middle with Eller down low, and he just gets loose and then overcorrects, saves it, no contact. And then the drivers behind him, though, get together. I think it was Wyvel that ended up getting into Jones. This time we'll go ahead and jump on board with the 53 truck. He'd been steadily working his way forward there for a while early in the race. And right there, nowhere to go. Jones going to catch the worst of it, but Wyvel with some contact on the nose. You can see the hood buckled up a little bit there. I think I saw some damage on his right front in that earlier shot, so got a mixed bag of drivers coming to pit road now. And as they do that, we are going to go back 2 or 3 laps and see what happened to the 43 to kind of get that whole field stacked up there. If I can find him, there he is. We're just going to jump back a few laps here, all the way to the restart, actually. So he's on the outside of Seawright at first, and then Bohr and Seawright, I think as they get into turn 3, they're going to split the 43 as Seawright goes high and Bohr throws it in on the bottom. And the 43, I think, came down to try and pinch him a little bit, and that's what started this whole thing. And then the 43 just drops back through the field. Everybody trying to keep clear. They're 4 wide. Then 4 wide again. There goes the 73, shoots by on the outside. And that's what creates this stack here, so that when Seawright gets loose, Wyville doesn't have the visual opening to see a truck slowing down a couple trucks ahead of him. And there's the caution again. So we're 1 lap to go back to green. And a pretty similar lineup here. It's Boyd and Eller now on the front row. Then Jacob Hughes and Blake Henderson. Ryan Moutre, Wesley Lister in row 3. John Boy Hughes and Josh Ryder. Row 4, then Kenneth Gallman and Klaus Brahm. It looks like are going to be the top 10. And again, we've got 8 different drivers for us to ride along with tonight. Oh no, it looks like the 15 just picked up a black flag. I'm guessing that was a race control black flag, giving him the fault for that caution. All right, I think we're going to, let's jump on board with Henderson for this restart. He is in 4th position on the outside of the 2nd row. And the pace truck is down pit road again. Green flag is out. Boyd going to get a great start there on the bottom. I've seen the leader do that every restart tonight. I think everybody's going to be fine as long as they can avoid getting 4 wide too early. Henderson riding the 3rd lane out there on the outside of Eller. Oh, a little bit of contact. He keeps it straight, though. Brahm is dropping, though. It looks like we might have a caution, and there it is. Well, that was fun while it lasted. We were on board there with Blake. Let's see what we can go back and see here. Eller and Lister involved in that one. Lister still off track. And I think we might have actually seen it while we were on board with Henderson. Eller, I think, came up and squeezed the 25 on exit. I don't think he had much more room to move out of the way. As Henderson was in the wall. Then Eller eventually drifting down out of the way there. Let's go back and watch that one more time. That's not a great camera. They're already wrecking. And this is just the way it happens when Eller comes into the corner. He's got the 25 to his outside. And here comes the 73 to his inside. Suddenly they're 3 wide, and the truck just doesn't handle or come off the turn the way you're expecting it to when you're 2 wide. Again, not the worst accident for the 69. But I think, who is that? Ryder, maybe? I think Ryder is the one that gets the worst of it this time around. Why don't we jump on board with the 32 truck? You can just see the 73 gets a huge run down on the bottom, and then Eller reacts to that, gets into the 25. I mean, this is not in intent to wreck or anything like that going on out on the track tonight. It's just guys getting a little apprehensive. So now it's Henderson to the lead, because I think Michael Boyd came to pit road. Yeah, Boyd to pit road. He actually got 4 tires this time around. And look at that. The pit strategy's all over the place. So you've got Henderson, Hughes, Moutre, John Boy Hughes, and Culleton. They've got 9 laps this run, but all of them on different strategies of repairs, fuel only, and 4 tires. Then behind them, Bryce Borer, he pitted 4 laps ago, but took fuel only. Elsie had to make repairs. He pitted 9 laps ago. Then Teal and Osborne, fuel only. So it seems like the ALR drivers trying to stick together on strategy. Then Sahadak and Hayes and Jones picking up tires. So this is going to be a tough one. Not a huge difference in fuel at this point. We're still a couple of pit stops away from being able to say whether these are going to pay off. Maybe skip a pit stop there at the end. But it is going to be Henderson out front with Jacob Hughes to his outside. Ryan Moutre, John Boy Hughes, David Culleton, Bryce Borer, John Anthony Ryan, Elsie, Spencer Teal, and Dakota Osborne. The top 10 for this restart here on lap 48. We are not even halfway, and we have had a wild ride so far tonight. So almost half of our laps have been under caution so far tonight. Really out of character for this CDSN Truck Series. They've been the cleanest of the GEC leagues all season. But like we said pre-race, the pressure starting to ramp up here as the regular season comes to a close, and everyone wants to be in that top 14 to make it into the chase / playoffs, whatever you want to call it these days. And the green flag is out again as Henderson getting a little bit of a push from Moutre as they get going. Oh, we've got a caution already as Ryder and Prim possibly involved in this one. Ryder is off track even. This is towards the back. They're just 3 wide, and I mean, that's kind of the same exact thing we saw happen earlier in the race where I think it was Seawright that came across Borer's nose. Just the where you're going to turn into turn 1 is not agreed upon between all the drivers. Take one more look from a little higher up. Yeah, Ryder just... I mean, it looks like he came down across Prim. But again, I think it's just a misalignment on where drivers think the turn-in point is here at Michigan. Eighth caution of the night. We have had a total of 193 incident points in these first 48 laps. Couple drivers already with 20. Again, just really uncharacteristic of the CDSN Truck Series this season. They've been the ones to watch in terms of clean races, but this is making me wonder, are we going to need 1, 2, or 3 of those green-white checkers here at the end? The dirty air as these trucks get 3, 4, and 5 wide is, I think, a little more challenging than it looks here from up in the booth. Looks like the 11 of Johnny Jones going to be the lucky dog. And he will be back on the lead lap. Right now, 25 of our 26 drivers that started the race are on the lead lap. It's actually Josh Eller, the only driver not on the lead lap, and he is out of the race. Currently 4 laps down. I think he did have to use his fast repair in an earlier caution, so that one ended his night. Prim, looks like Prim's going to get the black flag from race control for that one. Jamie Griffin just barely, I think, going to get off pit road ahead of the leaders. He will. He'll stay on the lead lap. Looking at those repairs again. Prim with almost 5 minutes of damage repaired. But the driver that stands out in this list to me is Blake Henderson. He had a minute of repairs and is leading the race here on lap 51. Elsie also in the top 10 after making repairs, and John Anthony too. So as we come down the backstretch, we'll take another look at our top 10 for this restart. Henderson and Moutre out front, then Hughes. It's a Hughes and Hughes second row. Boer and Culleton in the third row. Elsie and Anthony, then Teal and Osborne. Really impressed with that 50 truck here tonight. To be honest, I'm a little surprised the 57 isn't running away with it. He's done it so many times this season that I think our expectations are through the roof there for the 57. And the pace truck hits pit road. Again, it's going to be Henderson and Moutre leading us back to green. And the green flag is out. Henderson and John Boy Hughes with a good restart there, but Moutre going to stay to the inside of that 44, or sorry, of the 14. Moutre is the 44. And then dive down low. He's going to stay there, but Boer deciding to push the 14. That's going to let John Boy back into second as he's going to clear Moutre. Boer now looking to the inside of the 44 and the 14 all the way to the bottom, and Henderson sees it in his mirror, tries to come down and take his air away. Can't quite get to the bottom. Oh, and the 14 gets loose and into Culleton in the 50. Another hard hit on the backstretch. And Culleton doing the moonwalk there on the apron. We saw that one live. Oh, that view's no good. Hold on. We gotta get a little closer than that. The 14 just gets loose as the 44 was right on his bumper, took a little bit of the air away. Hard into that inside wall. His bumper's not attached, but it is still a part of the truck. Still have not made it to halfway. as this caution comes out on lap 53. And you can see it right there. It's pretty much been as many yellow flag laps as green flag laps tonight. And like we said, we heard it in the pre-race chatter. Dirty air was going to be a big challenge for these trucks, and that's what we're seeing. As John Boy is going to hit pit road, probably make some repairs there to that 14 truck. Chris Jones also in. As well as Linger. Jamie Griffin on pit road again. I have a feeling he's just got a ton of repairs and he's getting them done as much as he can each caution. '50 truck, I think, again, got some heavy contact there under that caution. He was running so well. Certainly the commentator's curse as we were singing his praises just about 5 laps ago. It's still going to be Henderson up front. This time, though, Bohr are going to be on that front row with him. Take a look at the ALR racing team. Bryce Bohr leading the way. Got his teammate Moutre right behind him. And then Dakota Osborne, we saw him early in the race, way up, up at the front battling for the lead, but he's just kind of been quietly lurking in the top 10 all night long. All of those ALR drivers doing good. Take a look at all of the teams here for a moment. Henderson there, and at least in his driver info app, he's racing for Tombstone Motorsports. So that's the best team of the night. They're averaging first place with a 1-truck team. ALR next best. JWR, I think their best truck's in 5th, but they've got an average of a 12th place. That's pretty good for a 4-driver team. Stitley Motorsports, that's the Haydak and Griffin. They need to step it up. We saw him running up front early, and then Griffin picked up this damage that he's been on pit road so many times for. And Dirty South cracking into the top 10. Skid Mark up there as well. We've been looking at teams and cars and everything else. What about countries? Sometimes we forget we do have some international competition in here with Klaus Brahm representing Brazil. He's running 15th right now, but we saw him up in the top 3 earlier tonight with some pit strategy. We'll see how he can do for the rest of the night. And I think we're going to jump on board with Walt Sahadak for this restart. He's in 10th position. Another one of our onboard drivers. Get that video to fit in, but I don't think it wants to. There we go. And the caution is out for the 10th time here in the Smitten by the Mitten 240. I see the 4, the 14, and the 5 are slow, but none of them indicating that they have crashed. We watch Chris Jones here on the restart. The driver of that Ford truck. Three wide here at the back. And it's Culleton and Griffin that actually get together there on the inside of Chris Jones. Trying to find the best angle here. I think the chopper is going to be it. They're three wide. Oh, again, it's the same thing we saw earlier where a driver reacts to seeing another truck getting loose around him. I think that time Griffin reacted to seeing Jones get loose. And that got him up, and then he reacted trying to stay out of Culleton and ended up getting together with Jones. Maybe a bit of net code helping him out. And so we've got a couple drivers coming down pit road. Jones, LZ, Ryder, Linger, and Griffin. I mean, let's take a look at Griffin's chart for the night. Yeah, it's repair stop after repair stop after repair stop for the 5. And it isn't over yet there for that Laughing Llama Wraps Stitley Motorsports truck. But he's back out on track again after his 5th stop for repairs. Blake Henderson still leading this race. So we take a look. 6 different drivers have led laps tonight. Boyd with the most. He's still in the top 10. But Henderson now 2nd place in terms of laps led. Just taking a look at the best lap of the night. It's actually by Josh Eller, who is the only truck out of this race. Correct, that Prim is now out as well. So we're getting the 1 to go. We're going to take a look at that top 10. Again, it's Bryce Borer and Blake Henderson on the front row. Pretty sure Henderson is actually the leader of this graphic. Has got them confused because they're kind of side by side here. Then it's Teal and Moutre in the 2nd row. Osborne and Anthony in the 3rd. Sahadak and Seawright in the 4th row. And then Lister and Boyd going to be the top 10 for this restart. Our 11th green flag of the night. As we hit halfway, we'll take another look at those point standings. Borer has been dominating, but everybody behind him in tight quarters. Sahadak with a win. I think Henderson has a win. He's not in this top 15 right now, as he joined a few races into the season. But he has a win. We mentioned that Osborne had been lurking back around 10th. There he is now. In 5th place on the inside. Keep an eye on that 79 truck driver. Green flag is out and Henderson gets his leader jump. Borer, Teal, and Moutre there behind him. Here comes Seawright. with a run on the bottom. He's going to go right around Osborne and try to get Teal in the same move. Now diving to the bottom again. The 15 making it stick. As now he's challenging Moutre for third. And I'm starting to wonder, is there a bit of tire strategy playing out here? Seawright, pretty much with the same tires as those guys around him. The first person on meaningfully different tires is Boyd, about a 9-lap difference. But Seawright getting it done. He's going to need some drafting help as Boyd decides to push Moutre. Now Boyd looking to the outside of the 44. Can't get there. Seawright almost up beside Borer now as he takes third. And we've been talking about this stat for the last couple races here, but Seawright is the driver with the most passes on the season and the most position gain in every race, pretty much. He's hard into the wall, though. Borer and Boyd go by on the inside. Moutre, Osborne, and now Teal. I don't think he got any heavy, severe damage, but that did kill his momentum. So Henderson's still holding down the lead up front. Michael Boyd has made his way up to second. We just mentioned he had the freshest tires there in the top 10, about 9 laps better. But Borer's to his inside now. Phenomenal racing here tonight at Michigan. I know we've had a lot of cautions, but the green flag racing has just been awesome. And Seawright gets turned. Oh, he saves it. But he's going to lose a ton of positions as he's down on the apron, and they're 4 wide going around him. Sahadak and Culleton. That 50 truck rebounding quickly from contact a couple cautions ago. And look at this gaggle of trucks. Brahm, Anthony, Sahadak, and Culleton. This is the battle for 7th through 10th. Back behind the leaders who have gotten a little bit single filed out. We're still 3 wide back here. Elsie now trying to join the party. Elsie trying to get to the outside of that 00. He's not going to make it yet. Further up, Moutre getting antsy on the rear bumper of that 57. Boyd still holding on to second place behind Henderson. We're going to jump on board with the driver of that 41 truck, Klaus Brahm. The most intense of our webcam drivers every week. Has to check up a little bit there on the bottom. That's going to let Teal get a run by him on the top. As Borer sneaks up in front of Boyd and gets loose. And you can see it here along with the 41. That lets Moutre get a run down on the bottom. So Boyd gives up second, having to check up for the 57. Moutre now up to P2. Oh, he's just going to slide it in there in front of the 57. It is getting dicey up here for the lead. Or not really for the lead, really just for second place. We look back through the field. David Culleton is the fastest driver on the track as he's now up to 9th. He was just involved in one of those wrecks a couple laps ago, and he is marching forward. Boer back underneath Moutre, who has a little bit of a wiggle. On a scrape of the wall. This is fantastic. And for just a brief moment, the entire field was single file amidst all this chaos. So now Henderson and Boer get a little bit of a breakaway at the front. Boyd still trying to get by Osborne or hold him off. He's going to get there for now. It seemed like a lot of work for these drivers to remain in pretty much the same order as 5 laps ago. Henderson shoots all the way to the yellow line. And everybody else up behind him looking closer to the wall. It seems like the high line has become dominant once you get single file. But you've got to find a way to get clean air. So you can't just follow the guy in front of you. Anthony now diving under the 41. LZ trying to come with him. That is for 7th place. As Anthony continues to move forward, he's up 16 positions from where he started the race. And we've got drivers hitting pit road. I was not expecting that. This looks to be... Oh yeah, I guess I was just sleeping on the data. Boer, who is our leader, has been out there for 30 laps now. So expect him to come the next time by. And I'll tell you who's sitting pretty is going to be Ryan Elzey and Michael Boyd. They're both in the top 10 right now. And they can go... Well, Boyd can go another 4 laps probably, but Elzey could go another 17. So we've got our first green flag stops of the night. Bryce Boer hits pit road. He was your leader. That leaves Michael Boyd in the 21 back to the lead. So drivers who pitted a lap ago, that would be Osborne and Moutre and Henderson. They're going to go 1 lap down. Henderson might not. He's going to try to stay in front of Boyd here. Not going to do it. So all of them 1 lap down, at least for the time being. $48 laps to go. And based on the fuel mileage we're seeing, that means it is a 1-stop race after these drivers hit pit road just now. Now we've got Brahm and Sahadak, as well as Weibel and Lister in the pits. Michael Boyd is your leader. Spencer Teal is in 2nd. He's not too far behind as we see Osborne getting his lap back. Anthony now up to 3rd. But again, it is Ryan Elzey who is in the catbird seat right now on a slightly different fuel strategy than the top 3. Not only that, he got 4 tires on that last stop too. And don't look now, but here comes the 5 truck of Jamie Griffin. He's been off sequence because he's been coming in to make repairs every single stop. He's up to 5th. And he's on that same strategy as Elzey. They are going to be able to stay out almost 14 more laps based on the mileage everyone's been getting. Boyd probably needs to come down this time or a lap from now. He's going to stay out for 1 more. A little bit of contact in the back of the field, and there's the yellow. This is going to shake things up. Moutre, Brahm, Sahadak, Weibel, all going to be trapped a lap down. The drivers that pitted early are going to cycle to the front, as most of these drivers should come to pit road. Linger picking up a meatball flag, so heavy contact. Pace truck trying to wreck Boyd. He's going to be heading to the NASCAR hauler after the race. Let's go back and see what happened here. Looks like Gallman's involved. Culleton. Oh, it looks like Gallman might have run out of fuel. Or tried to get to pit road way too late. And he collects. Somebody else got collected up in that right at the end. Let's back it up a lap and follow along with the 71. You got to imagine he needed to get to pit road and either couldn't get down soon enough or just plain ran out of gas, maybe. As we jump on board. Yeah, he's out of fuel, is Gallman. And then right there, oh, somebody tagged him at the end. Again, I don't think the truck's, yeah, he's completely out of fuel by then. Trying to limp back to pit road. Let's go back a lap and ride along with the 50 truck. And he's one of those drivers, I believe, had already pitted, so he is cruising on fresh tires, full tank of fuel, ready to roll. And then right here into turns 3 and 4. He gets a run by Seawright, and then Gallman tries to get to pit road as he runs out of fuel, comes right down into there, and I'm not sure Culleton had any options at that point. It's a tough break for all of the drivers involved here. Gallman trying to stretch it on fuel, Culleton just getting caught up in it. So let's see. Now it cycles back to some of the drivers we've seen leading recently. It's going to be Henderson up front, then Bohr, then Osborne. And if I remember right, that is going to be... Oh, no, Henderson not officially with ALR. I think he is acquaintances with them, though. Rivals, even. Michael Boyd back to 4th. Jamie Griffin in 6th. So checking it now, it is... Yeah, we're kind of all shook up here. So that with Henderson and Bohr and Osborne staying out, they were able to trap maybe a few people a lap down. Right now, I'm only seeing Lister, Hayes, and Linger as officially a lap down. 20 cars on the lead lap. But Henderson, Bohr, and Osborne able to get to pit road under green, while everybody behind them, Boyd, Elsie, Griffin, and so on, pitting there under caution. So they're all on pretty much the same tire, pretty much the same fuel strategy, which is everybody needs to stop one more time. And about 22 laps, Brahm with a black flag. They're right at the restart. Gallman as well. I'm going to assume Gallman's is from the admins. I'm not sure what happened to Brahm or why he would pick up a black flag. Oh, Bohr scrapes the wall. 42 laps to go. As I mentioned, everybody needs to pit one more time in about 20 laps. But I'm sure we'll see some people try to stretch it. Some people maybe come early and flip the stage. It does look like Brahm has had his black flag cleared by the admins. But Henderson holding on to the lead in front of Bohr. We've got 3 trucks with contact in the back. And there it is, another caution. 12th of the night. Again, nobody crashed, but it looks like Jones, Ryder, and Lister were all involved in some sort of issue. See if we can find what that was. Oh, the 43 might... Oh! Yeah, just some weird contact there for the 43. Let's go back a lap or so. Yeah, so Ryder... I'm going to back that up. This might have been, drivers just starting to get frustrated. Both the 43 and the 32 have been in a couple wrecks, couple cautions, not running where they want to be at this point in the race. And here, coming down the front stretch, Ryder drifts down into the 43 a little bit and then hits the wall as well. And then right here, they get together again, and then the 43 gets loose and comes down into the 73, who's the one that gets sideways and brings out the caution. So I don't know if it's fatigue or frustration, but drivers not able to hold the crisp lines they were early in the race. And we're starting to get foggy here in Michigan. As the sim time, local time here in simulated Michigan is about 6:30 in the evening. And I don't think Michigan has lights. So whatever cloud cover we get, we're just going to be dealing with it. Again, our 12th caution of the night. Getting our money's worth here on this new race progress bar that we are testing out tonight. We did have a pretty good green flag run going there for a while. Saw green flags, pit stops even. Now we're back to our old evil ways. Linger, the 91, still on pit road. He got a black flag and a meatball under that previous caution. And again, want to thank everybody for tuning in on the GEC Racing League YouTube channel. Let us know who you're pulling for. I mean, pretty much any name in the top 15 has looked fast and been in the top 5 at one point here tonight. Even some of the drivers that are currently in the back or wrecked out were running in the top 5 at one point. So it's been a real rotating carousel of trucks at the front. Usually in the battle for second and third, as the leader has kind of enjoyed watching those battles in his mirror. Looks like the 82 going to dive down pit road, top off on fuel or grab a little more repair. He's also going to grab a black flag on that entry. At least it looks like it. And we're going to be 1 to green. So we take a look at our top 10 here to start. As we go green back again on lap 84. It'll be Henderson and Bohr on the front row, then Griffin and Boyd, Osborne and Elsley, Seawright and Jones, Johnny Jones that is, then Ryan Jones and Josh Ryder. Going to be the top 10. Again, pit strategy pretty much even here for everyone. About a 4 or 5 lap difference on tires and fuel mixed up through the top 15. But otherwise, everyone still on a one-stop strategy to finish this race out. If we take a look at, say, Henderson's night, he's only stopped 4 times and only taken tires 3 of those times. So he still has 2 sets to use for his scheduled stop, as well as maybe a late race restart or a green-white checker if we need it. And the pace truck comes down pit road again. Henderson and Bohr are going to take the green flag at the front. And Jamie Griffin, I mentioned it, I know he loves this track. As the sun breaks through the clouds here in Michigan, Griffin is up to 3rd. With Henderson in the lead. Now Boyd looking to the outside of the 5 truck. They're 3 wide, a little further back in the pack, but keeping it clean. And here comes Bohr for the lead. 57 to the bottom. And he's got it. He's going to clear Henderson as Henderson gets loose, almost into the wall. Boyd now around the bottom. He's going to follow Bohr right up there. They're both taking the trucks all the way to the grass on the front stretch. Griffin now side by side with Osborne. That's for 4th as Henderson tries to get back with those 2 in front of him and retake the lead. He's to the outside, make that the inside of Boyd. And then 3 wide for the lead. Henderson to the bottom. And he's gonna clear Boyd and slide up in front of him. Boyd up in front of Bohr. And they are just gonna trade this back and forth. A little bit of contact between Henderson and Boyd, and then contact between Boyd and Bohr. Incredible driving by these 3. They are racing as hard as we've seen all season, making contact and keeping it straight at the same time. But we still have 35 laps to go. I don't know if you want to make any enemies just yet. 57 to the bottom. He's not going to clear the 25. He gets a huge run there on the high line, and they all tuck back in line, single file all the way back to 6th. Now back around 6th and 7th, though. They're still 3 wide. As a lap car gets passed on the apron. And now 2nd place. Getting wild again. Henderson holds on to the lead. Here comes Elzy. That 27 truck started up here in the top 3. He's trying to get back there. I think something might be wrong with that 5 truck. He's dropped all the way back to 17th. After running in the top 5 on that last restart, he's back there with his teammate Sahadak. Now Elzy and Osborne are getting together. Boyd to the inside of Borer. Battles every which way around this track right now. And again, I'm not sure who in this field has not had an issue tonight. Michael Boyd might be the one driver that has not picked up an incident point and is running here in the top 20. Oh, there's contact. The 4 goes sideways. There goes Chris Jones. Almost down pit road. I think he made contact with the wall on the way there. He's going to take a tow. to pit road, so we stay green. Henderson still out front. Jones picking up a meatball off that contact. And now this group that's the top 7 starting to compress a little bit as Seawright has joined the group just behind LZ. But the top 3 stay in single file for now. And it seems like we were just on pit road and under caution not that long ago, but now we're less than 10 laps away from green flag pit stops. Big contact in the back. The Joneses, Lister and Weibel, and that'll bring out our 13th caution here at Michigan. I think this one... Well, we saw Chris Jones go off track, and then 2 laps later, I think he was the first... Oh, I'm sorry, it's Ryan Jones, not Chris Jones, involved in this one. This has got to be after the wreck. This is back on lap 89. It's the 43. It's hard into the wall. I did not catch what happened there on that angle. This gaggle of trucks, though, is a mess back here. Spencer Teal, Johnny Jones, Ryder, Lister, Linger. Let's see where this gets started. We got Griffin up high by the wall. And it looks like the 43 just got called clear by his spotter, but he was not. The 11 of Johnny Jones was still up there. And while we're watching this, the majority of our leaders are coming down pit road, starting with Blake Henderson and Bryce Borer. But not everybody came down pit road. The 50 is going to stay out and become the leader. The 32 joins him, as does Jamie Griffin. They each 3-pitted 16 laps ago. And this is an interesting play here, as I think everyone that's pitting right now can make it to the end if there's no green-white checkers. But looking at this race recap, 13 cautions. A third of our laps have been run under yellow. And we have not made a run this long of green all night. So chances are we are going to get another caution. And I'm wondering if Culleton, Ryder, and Griffin are banking on that. As long as it happens in the next 12, 13 laps, they're going to be fine, because everyone's going to come down pit road with them again to top off, and they're going to be able to keep that track position. I think the real question is going to be, what was the strategy behind them? You see here, Jonah Seawright, he did come down pit road, but he went fuel only while everybody else got tires, so he's up in the top 4 behind these 3 that took the gamble of staying out. As we come back to the 1 to green, it's going to be David Culleton and Josh Ryder on the front row, then Jamie Griffin, Jonah Seawright in row 2, Blake Henderson and Bryce Borer in row 3, Michael Boyd and Ryan Moutre in row 4, and Ryan Elsie and Jacob Hughes rounding out the top 10 here, as we're going to get racing again on lap 95. 27 laps to go here in the Smitten by the Mitten 240 with the Collateral Damage Sports Network Truck Series on GEC Racing League. We've been having some fun tonight. Great racing all through the field. You've got a record number of drivers sharing their cameras with us tonight. I want to thank everybody for doing that. Hey, let's see if we can jump on board with someone we haven't yet tonight. Let's go with Josh Ryder. He's going to be starting on the front row with Culleton to his outside. The 50 is the leader. There it is. A great start for the 32. He's going to have to be careful. I'm pretty sure Culleton was the leader. And there's the caution. We've got Michael Boyd, Spencer Teal, Jonas Seawright, Stephen Hayes, Dakota Osborne, a whole number of trucks involved in this, so we were trying to watch along with Ryder. We'll have to wait till the next restart. All right, it looks like this one started with Jonas Seawright. Oh, and I think it's Griffin missed a shift? No, I'm not sure what. There's a lot going on here. First of all, let's get a better angle and back this up. There's definitely something weird about this restart, as it almost looks like the only truck that gets going is Ryder. So maybe Culleton misses a shift or starts in the wrong gear. That brings Borer into Boyd, into Seawright. Osborne's in it. Contact there at the end for Hayes. There's a lot to unpack here. Again, it just looks like the 50 doesn't get going. And that stacks everybody up, starting with the 57 and the 15 there. Henderson picks up some contact. Looks like, yeah, there's just a mixture of trucks with medium damage or no damage coming out of that. Seawright and Hayes both picking up black flags right here. And this is going to shake up the field, as a lot of our front runners picked up enough damage to warrant coming down pit road. Now with 24 laps remaining in the race, you can definitely make it on fuel to the standard finish, maybe one green-white checker from here. But it's Blake Henderson out front, Ryan Moutre in second, Ryan Elzey in third, Jacob Hughes in fourth, Klaus Brahm fifth, John Anthony sixth, Spencer Teal, Walt Sahadak, Gallman, and Weibel the top 10. Then behind them is everybody that came to pit road. So Borer came down pit road to check on his truck. Griffin down pit road after the contact. Ryder behind them. Now Borer went fuel only. He just got the repairs checked on, or made sure that truck was okay. I'm guessing it was so okay he didn't even need to stay long enough to get tires or anything else. But that's got him back in 11th. And for the first time tonight, the pressure of the clock is on. If you're Borer or Griffin outside the top 10 with just 23 laps to go, you cannot afford to lift and be patient where you could earlier in the race. You got to get moving towards the front now. Especially if it stays green. Now, do we think it's going to stay green based on what's happened so far? Probably not, but you can't afford to bank on that. All right, drivers, reach up there and pull those belts tight. One more time, the 15th start/restart of the night. It's going to be Henderson out front with Moutre in second. Then Elzy and Hughes right behind him. Green flag is out. We're racing again. Pretty clean that time. I'm guessing everybody was pretty nervous after that last restart. Henderson with a great jump, maybe the biggest we've seen all night. Here comes Brahm. He's on the outside of Elzy looking for third place. Now trying to look under the 44 for second. Can't get there, has to check up. Seawright hitting pit road again. And here comes Bohr. He wasted no time, as we mentioned. You just don't have time to wait on the field and be patient. 57 already up to fourth, looking for third under Brahm. And he's got it. Now trying to hunt down the 44 of Moutre is Bryce Bohr on the march. Henderson still in the lead. But he's got company. Here comes Bryce. Brahm now on the inside trying to get by Moutre. He kind of tucked in behind the 57, tried to follow him through there. See if he can clear the 44. He's not quite going to do it. Out of turn 4. But he's going to come all the way to the apron with Bohr. Trying to shorten up that front stretch a little bit. Henderson holds on to his 57, gets a little wiggly. And you can see Henderson trying to take away that exit arc for the 57. Not going to give him any room to come up. That's a gamble I think you got to take. I know you're risking the 57 coming up into you, causing contact. But he is going to slide in front. There's contact as the 57 gets sideways. And they save it. But here comes Brahm and Moutre with a run. Now they're 2x2 in the top 6. 18 to go. Henderson retakes the lead. I don't know if Bryce appreciated that one. 25 trying to throw the block. Contact 3 or 4 times there. Down the backstretch. Everybody behind him is watching the show. Brahm to third. Incredible racing. Weibel goes around off the nose of Sahadak. We're still green. Brahm with a big head of steam. He's going to push Henderson back out to the lead. Now Moutre dives back to the bottom. And they are just trading it back and forth, and now we're kind of back to where we were. Henderson out front. Bohr in second. Brahm in third. Oh, the 57 taking all the clean air away from the 41. He's going to hit the wall. No problem. Here comes Griffin, I think that is, in the back. He's up to 7th. .57 to the inside of Henderson. He's going to get there, and he gets loose again. Same as before. Moutre now going to put him 3 wide for the lead. This is incredible. Still 16 laps to go. We're 3 wide up front. The top 8 are on top of each other. Henderson now looking high. He gets loose. Hughes is loose. He's going around. There's the caution. Henderson down. Oh, and he picks up Teal on the way. Big contact there between the 81 and the 25. 15th caution of the night. Two trucks. Both got sideways there coming off of turn 4. One of them was Henderson. The other, I believe, was Jacob Hughes. Oh, and he got some help from Brahm. Teal tries to avoid one spinning truck and hits the other. Let's go back and jump on board with the 81 for that lap. He's right here behind Griffin and Brahm at the time. He's been up and down all night, as low as 14th, as high as 2nd. Running in the top 10 right here. Drivers putting on a show for us tonight. I'm excited. Right there, he avoids the 9. Only to T-bone the 25. Nowhere to go at that point. Trucks to his outside, the grass to the inside. Almost gets stuck in the grass. Able to keep it moving, though. And we're on pit road again. So now, Ryan Elzey is your leader. Jamie Griffin is 2nd. John Anthony 14th. Josh Ryder 4th. And Kenneth Gallman is 5th. And I think every single one of those drivers has been sideways or into a wall at some point tonight. Behind him is Lister and Culleton. The same for those two. 100 laps ago, we were saying things like, this is a long race, and we're at the end of it now. 14 remain. 14 laps, that is. We have seen caution after caution. 15, in fact, in this 26 truck field. Right now, there are only 20 trucks left on the track. Only 16 left on the lead lap. The top 8 stayed out on this caution. They've got anywhere from 15 to 11 laps on their tires, which is not nothing. That's about half of a fuel run. And if we look through, it's going to be Moutre and Boer, the first 2 trucks that pitted this cycle, that both have 4 fresh tires. And we are having fun. Looking at leaders tonight, 8 different drivers leading. Henderson has led the most, and I think he's locked that up. He will lead the most laps in this race, but he's back in 15th right now. Michael Boyd led a whole bunch. He's back in 13th. Ryan Elzey is on the point for this restart. It's going to be 12 to go at the line. Jamie Griffin and Ryan Elzey, your front row. Green flag is out. Elzey with a great start. Looks pretty clean behind him. So now we've got Griffin and Ryder following LZ. Anthony to the inside of the 32. Remember, Bryce not that far back. He's going to be making a charge. We saw him do it the last run, but it's Griffin going for the lead right now. 5 truck underneath the 27. They're side by side. That's going to let the... LZ fighting hard on the outside, though. Here comes Bryce. He's going to make it 3 wide for the lead as he jumps to the bottom and goes around them both. 57 to the point. And they were side by side. Nothing they could do as Bryce just got a huge run and he used it right away. And here comes Moutre and Osborne as well. Griffin still fighting with LZ. Osborne looking for a place to go. Heavy contact between Teal and Lister, but they keep it straight. They're 5 wide here in the top 10. And they're going to be 4 wide for second as Griffin tries to clear and throw a block on Elsie. He's going to get there, but that lets Osborne and Moutre by to his inside. And here comes Henderson. He gets loose and goes around. And that's going to be the how many? I've lost count. Another caution, the 16th. With 10 to go, Henderson goes around. I think there was something just before that he was reacting to. It was actually Ryder. Oh, Ryder and Boyd get together. LZ comes down. They're 3 wide. Here, LZ and Ryder, I think, are going to get together, and that's going to get Ryder loose. Down into Boyd, and then turn Henderson. What a race. And then Ryder able to, oh no, not able to avoid the 25. He gets tagged again. Let's go back a lap and actually ride along with the 32. Another driver with a huge amount of repairs. A very up and down night, trying to end on the up. And everybody going for the same space. Again, I think he'll be okay. He's in the pits now, as is Henderson. So Bryce Borer is your leader. Already 5 wins on the season. He's got Moutre and Osborne right behind him. And that is a 1-2-3 for ALR right now. So Bryce probably feeling, more comfortable than he'd be with anybody else in the top 3 with him. Knowing his teammates are probably going to race him clean. Griffin in 4th now, Elsie in 5th. Little bit of a tire disadvantage for Griffin and Elsie. 10 and 14 laps respectively. So Spencer Teal is the next driver on the same tire strategy as the leaders. He'll be in 6th place. Looks like Henderson is still on pit road. Still on the lead lap at the moment. There he gets going. So he is going to stay on the lead lap, but be at the tail end of the field in 16th. Looks like Seawright going to hit pit road to top off or take care of some more repairs as well. Taking a look at our in-race driver cams. These drivers look wore out, I think is the scientific term. All that laughing and smiling they were doing at the beginning of the race is gone. We've got 7 to go coming back to the green. So it's going to be 6 laps to wrap this race up. The Smitten by the Mitten 240 here with the Collateral Damage Sports Network Truck Series on the GEC Racing League YouTube channel. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Got our Cup Series racing on Thursday. I believe we're at Phoenix, parentheses, no dog leg. So we'll see how that goes. And then we've got a big event coming up Saturday night, the GEC 500. I think our first full-length race here for GEC. All members invited to sign up for that. I think we already have a completely full field. We're going to run 500 miles at Daytona Saturday night. But for right now, we've got 6 more laps to run at Michigan. Henderson trying to find his place in line as Bohr is the leader. Gets kind of a weird start there as the truck got sideways on him, and he still kept it going. Moutre gonna drop into second place behind Bryce. And now Griffin up to third on the outside of Osborne. He's gonna pinch him down. Teal trying to figure out who to follow through this mess. Griffin now to third, if he can hold on to it. Moutre gonna dive to the bottom though. Or sorry, that's Osborne. Now Spencer Teal makes a run under the 5 truck. He's trying to take 4th away from Jamie Griffin. The field has 10 less trucks in it than when we started this race. Seawright tags the wall. Moutre right on the back bumper of his teammate Bryce Bohr. Moutre looking for his first win of the season. Oh, and there goes Culleton around across the nose of the 73. Boyd gets collected. He's into the wall. We've got our 17th caution. This is going to set us up for a green-white checker finish, the first of the night. Let's see how this one got started. '50 and 73 side by side. Sahadak right behind him, as is Anthony. And that looks like the 73 came up into Walt and Culleton. At least from that angle. Maybe let's jump on board with Walt and watch this one in real time. Yeah, it could have just been the dirty air. Either way, that 73 truck gets pulled up into the side of the 50. I think the probably the most unfortunate driver here is going to be Michael Boyd, who takes some hard contact into the wall. Let's ride along with Michael here in the 21. Oh, actually, the wall contact wasn't that bad. He kind of got run into from behind as he was getting impacted on the front. So there's two drivers that have been up front for at least half of this race. It was Michael Boyd and David Culleton at different times. Towards the back and having issues here right at the end. And right now it still says 3 laps to go. It's going to be 2 to go at the line, and then it'll get extended and it'll officially be a green-white checker, I'm pretty sure. But right now it's Boer and Moutre up front, then Osborne and Teal, Griffin and Elzy, Lister and Sahadak, then Boyd and Anthony. So Michael Boyd is still in 8th or 9th place, even after that contact. I know I'd want to come down pit road and check on it, but at this point in the race, that might not be a luxury you could afford. So it's going to be a green-white checker. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just going to be 2 laps. I can't tell. Either it's the exact race distance, or it is going to be a green-white checker by 1 lap. Either way, it's going to be 2 laps of racing if we don't have a caution. I'm sure everybody and their brother knows the rules, but I'm required as a broadcaster to say it anyway. If we have a caution on that first lap, we're going to re-rack it and do it again. We get a caution on the second lap. No flag. We're going to ride it out and race back to the finish. And this has been a wild race. Again, almost more yellows than green flag laps. 50 laps under caution in this 120 lap race. But we're coming back to hopefully the last green flag of the night. It's Bryce Boer out front, Ryan Moutre in second, Dakota Osborne and Spencer Teal all right there. As we come through the restart zone, the green flag is out, and Boer does kind of the same move. He dives all the way to the bottom as soon as he gets on the gas. And he gets a decent lead, not the biggest jump we've seen all night. Can these drivers behind him get a run? We've got drivers 3 and 4 wide towards the middle of the pack. Does Moutre have anything for that 57? He's going to get a little bit of a run there on the high side through the draft. And he dives to the bottom. Can Bryce cover it? Can't throw the block, but he's going to get a big run out of the turn as Osborne slides up into the wall. There's contact in the back, and they're wrecking. Will we get the caution flag or not? I'm not sure if it's white flag or caution flag. Looks like we're racing this one out. Moutre to the lead. Bryce Boer in second. Here comes Elzy now in third. He's getting a push from Henderson. Where did the 25 come from? All 3 of them going to get a run on Moutre down the backstretch. Here comes Henderson up to third. He's side by side with Boer for a second, but neither one of them's going to get a run on Ryan Moutre in the 44, who takes the win at Michigan. We've got trucks sitting on the track here from the wreck a lap ago. Big mess to wrap this one up, but it's Ryan Moutre taking the victory. It's going to be Moutre, Boer, and Henderson, your top 3 on the podium here tonight in the Smitten for the Mitten, Smitten by the Mitten 240, sorry. Big win for the 44. We mentioned he came close earlier in the season. Didn't have it play out in his favor, but he got it done there. Big run when it mattered. Was able to get by the 57 of Bryce Borer. And he's going to burn it down on the front stretch. Trying to find the best camera to watch the donuts getting made. Big day for the 44. We were looking at the stats earlier. He was the first driver out of that playoff cutoff line coming into Michigan, just 1 point behind Marcus Chafin. And this should put him safely inside that top 14. What a finish here at Michigan. We're going to see if we can get these drivers up into the booth to have a chat with us. As we're waiting on them, let's go back and actually re-watch that white flag lap. Moutre takes the lead with 1 to go. He's got Borer all over him, but Elzy and Henderson had made their way up through a couple of drivers there. Spencer Teal and Griffin, I think just nothing to do with those older tires. Then right here, it looks like Henderson's going to get a giant run. It's enough to get by Elzy and get beside Bryce, but stalls out there as Moutre just hugs that yellow line. Not even the slightest wiggle out of that 44 truck as he came down and took that checkered flag. Henderson almost getting second from Borer, but all three of them coming home on the podium. Looks like we do have Henderson in the waiting room for us. We'll pull him up for a chat. Blake Henderson, the 25, coming home third tonight. Not quite enough to get there. You were up leading for a while. Walk us through your night.
Yeah, that was a race of all time. I wish we could have got more green flag laps. I felt like I had a really fast truck. That was a crazy last 2 laps for me. I think I started 11th on that restart and got up to third. I just don't think I had enough time to get to Moutre. Maybe another lap or two I maybe could have tried, but it was really hard to pass for the lead all night, I thought. I also kind of screwed up 1 and 2 on the white flag lap, and that kind of trapped me beside, I think it was Ryder, or I don't know, Elzy. Yeah, I just wish we could have got some more green flag laps. I think I led the most laps, but like 90% of them were under yellow, so I don't know if I can really be proud of that, but
And one way or another, you're right about that. 48 laps led tonight. Second best was Boyd with 23. But yeah, I mean, every single driver out there had an up and down night as we were watching this race. My voice is worn out. I got so excited a couple moments in this race, but especially those last few laps. You're kind of marching from the back. I think you were 10th or 12th on the restart. What's your mindset going into that green-white checker?
Oh, raise hell, praise Dale, like it's checkers or wreckers for me right now. I mean, I have to get as many points as I possibly can to sniff the playoffs. I know I was 33 out right now, which is crazy because I started like 150 out. Yeah, I knew I had a fast truck and I was really, really fast on restarts. So I was just going to see how much I could get. I knew I could really, really wrap the bottom better than most people seemed like they could tonight. So yeah, just wish I didn't step on my you know what that one time, and then I got caught in someone else's shit, which is kind of all night. So
I mean, that's kind of the way it goes, especially at a track like Michigan where you have to fight so hard for every position, every lap. But you came home with a podium finish, nothing to feel bad about. Who you want to send some thanks and shout outs to thank for your run here tonight?
yeah, I was kind of shocked that the race was the way it was. Biggest track that or one of the widest tracks that we run to. I usually have good, clean racing here, so I don't know what happened. Thank all the ALR guys. It's fun to race with them again. Tombstone Motorsports is my team. Blankenship Freight Lines, Cully Hockman Productions. They help me, enter leagues and stuff. So, as always, if you want to send my mediocre looking paint, let me know. I do it for a living, so maybe I could do it halfway decent.
Well, I just checked the points math. It does look like you gained about 7 positions up to 18th. 14th is the cutoff with 2 races to go. I mean, what's going to be your mindset over those next 2 races heading into the playoffs?
Oh, we have 2 more races? I thought we only had 1.
I believe this is race 8, and we've got 10 to go.
Next 2?
Where it's going to be Rockingham and Old Texas.
Oh, well, that'll be interesting. Rockingham, I've only ran a couple times, and I haven't had the best of luck there. And I think I've only ran Old Texas once in my life, so I don't know. We're just going to try our best.
Sometimes that's all you can do. Well, congratulations again on your run tonight. Not quite the victory you were hoping for, but a great points run for you. We'll look for you out there next week. Good luck there.
I appreciate it. And if you have seen my camera and see this catastrophe that's going on my headset, don't throw your headset when you get wrecked. It breaks it. Don't do it. Don't be the idiot that throws a $130 headset. Just don't do it.
Hey, we all learn from our mistakes, but even better to learn from someone else's. So thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, because everyone needed it right now. See ya.
All right, congratulations, Blake Henderson. Again, coming home third. The next driver we're gonna chat with here tonight is Bryce Borer. Got a lot of laps led tonight. Not the last one though. Bryce, walk us through your night.
Yeah, it was a brawl out there. We a lot of elbows up tonight. Yeah, I think tonight the car was good. Really nice change of pace from those ARCA cars. I'll tell you what, it's tough doing double duty sometimes, running 100 laps here last night and then coming back and doing 120. Well, man, it's like a breath of fresh air driving these trucks because they like to drive on that right rear. So getting that car loose, a lot of fun. Yeah, I knew it was just a matter of managing tires. And then, when caution started falling, I'm like, all right, I might have a little extra tire at the end of this thing. Shoot, I think the entire field might have a little extra tire at the end of this thing. But whatever. When we got those runs there, really got to see the field burn their stuff up and just took what I could. Really, actually, besides that, just trying to find where they weren't, and everybody seemed to want to run the top. So I said, okay, saw the bottom, and there was a few times where I was able to make up 2 spots in one corner, just hooking it on that bottom. Like I said, you got to go where they're not with these trucks, and the amount of drag they have. That dirty air is a big problem. So go where they're not, and yeah, did what I could till the end there. Moutre, he found where I was weak. If I did not get to the bottom in 3 and 4, my car was just god awfully tight. I couldn't. I don't know why. I just couldn't figure it out there in 3 and 4. Just if I was not at that paint going through that corner, I was just going to wash up, and I did. I washed up, and he took advantage of that.
I think you just mimicked the exact words out of my mouth as I saw you trying to get to the bottom to block that move there for the lead. But walk me through your restart strategy, because the first time you did it, I thought you got loose and you kind of cut down to the apron. And then you did the exact same thing the second time, and I'm like, hey, I think he's doing this on purpose. Is that a little bit of a move to try and cut some distance out of that front stretch into turn 1?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of everything. I was doing that to, yeah, exactly, cut any advantage. I mean, we're pacing at 70 miles an hour, and at 70 miles an hour, I mean, you're on the highway at 70 miles an hour, you're going to feel a draft. So I'm not going to take any of that to their advantage, and yeah, I'll just cut off and try to take any draft away from them that I possibly can. 1 and 2 to kind of, I don't know, maybe shake them up in the mind a little bit.
Well, it worked almost good enough to get your 6th win of the season.
Almost.
But
Nice.
second place is no problem. You're just going to boost that points lead you've been building all season. With 2 races to go, we got Rockingham and Old Texas. You know, just what's going on in your head as you're looking at the last 2 races here of the regular season?
Whole bunch of excitement. I love those tracks. Oh, I mean, if that scares anybody, let it, because I absolutely love these 2 tracks coming up, and I am going to enjoy just like Michigan. I enjoy Michigan, even though we ran a lot of caution laps. Just getting out there it's one of my favorite tracks to run. These 3 tracks really they're coming up, so I'm looking forward to it. Had fun tonight. Could have had more fun, but you know we'll figure it out. And then yeah, looking forward to Rockingham, and Texas will be something to enjoy too.
Well, congratulations again on second place. Who you need to send some thanks and shout outs to for tonight's run?
Well, I got to start off with you guys first. I always do. Without you guys, GEC, well, broadcast you guys too, but GEC for setting everything up for us to run every week. We appreciate being here. Appreciate you guys in the booth putting on a show for us to go back and watch. Got a few people outside of my own eyes watching the races too, and they're enjoying what they're seeing. So keep up the good work there. My team, everybody's getting better every week. Even on the track, I see other people outside of my team getting better, and it seems like we're getting a little more competitive. But, you know, our elbows are up, so things are going to happen. So just, I want to tell everybody, you know, keep up the good work. Just, you know, be smart out there as you're getting faster. That's all.
Yeah, it was a large number of cautions, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't have fun watching it. Lost my
Good.
voice there at one point. I was having so
Yeah.
much fun calling this one. So congratulations again. Thanks for putting on the show, and we'll see you out there next week at Rockingham.
Good deal. Later, guys.
All right, last but not least, driver of the 44, Ryan Moutre. Ryan, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, we saw you kind of making the moves, waiting to make those moves till the very end. You only led 3 laps, but one of them was the final one, and I think the other one was the white flag lap. So walk us through your night, and then what are you thinking there coming into that green-white checker to wrap it up?
Well, it was quite a night, wasn't it? Just trying to stay out of all the mayhem, and I had a couple wrecks there where I had to work my way back up, but just really just trying to avoid all that, and yeah, you know, really had a good car all along. I feel like once we got going there, I was going to be up front, but glad it just panned out the way it did. So.
Yeah, I mean, we saw you just hugging the bottom was the winning move in my opinion, especially there in the last time through 3 and 4. You've got Henderson making a run behind you. You got Bryce trying to make that middle lane work, but you just hugged the yellow line and they didn't have anything for it. Was that something you figured out during the race, or was that kind of a strategy or a racing line you were hoping to use all night?
Well, actually, Bryce gave me that info, funny enough. So he said that bottom's the way to be in 3 and 4, and it really was. I mean, you could get such a run on 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 really on the start of the run. So yeah, you just hug that bottom and just watch the cars go by on the top.
Well, it worked for you tonight. Congratulations on the win. I can't remember which race it was, but there was a race earlier in the season where you were in position to win it and kind of just didn't work out for you. So you got this one to play out into your hands. Congratulations. Who else you got to thank other than Bryce for giving you that tip to run the low line? Who else you got to thank for your run tonight?
Oh, just everybody back at ALR. So Spencer, Dakota, Marcus. I know he's been sick here, but just everybody back there at the shop, and just everybody that keeps on keeping on.
Well, congratulations again. What do you got for next week at Rockingham?
I don't know. I haven't really ran a whole lot there, so we'll have to see. Hopefully I got something.
Well, I'm sure you have a good time. Personally, I love the trucks at Rockingham. I jumped into a practice race last season and I think won it and then did terribly in the cup race. But I think the trucks in Rockingham are a perfect match. So I'm sure you have some fun out there. Congratulations again and good luck next week and through the rest of the season.
Yep. Thank you.
That was Ryan Moutre, winner here of the Smitten by the Mitten 240 in the Collateral Damage Sports Network Truck Series. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching. Again, we were trying out a new graphics package tonight. I know I had a few hiccups, but thank you for going along on the ride with us. And I had a blast watching. Hope you did too. Congratulations to all of our drivers. Reminder again, our Cup Series runs Thursday at Phoenix, and then the big race, the GEC 500 at Daytona, is this Saturday night. Tune in on the GEC Racing League channel. I'm going to be in the booth. Just got approval from the wife to clear out this Saturday night. So I'll be here calling all the action. 500 miles at Daytona. You don't want to miss out. We'll see you next week here in the CDSN Truck Series on the GEC Racing League.
Sun's going down and the